Hi, I'm Will Williams, host of the Reflexive Speaker Series, and welcome back to our show for 2025. This is going to be our first show of the year. This season, we're going to do 10 shows, and then we'll break and we'll come back and probably do 10 more shows. So altogether, we'll do probably about 20 shows once we get all the way through our schedule. But the show is set up in segments where we bring our guests on. And as you know, if you watched last year when we introduced this show, it's about getting potential speakers or speakers opportunity to give a speech, and it's short, connection, 10, 15 minutes or so, and kind of let you walk through what they are feeling when they give a speech. And so this way, if you want to hire them, you have access to some video on them. They put something together, and you can see what they're capable of doing. And so this, there's no pressure. For people who are watching the show who may want to come in at some point and decide they want to get into speaking, this is a chance to do that as well. So if you ever wanted to speak, this is your shot. So you get a chance to talk to an audience. It's global. You're talking to people all over the world at one time. So this is unlike you speaking at an event where it's just contained and you may be speaking to 1,000 to five to, who knows how many people are going to be in the crowd. So, but I try to get people to come on this show, be relaxed, and get to be themselves. And the show goes pretty quickly and smoothly, for the most part. I mean, occasionally, just like anything else, we'll have some gaps in there, but that's okay. It's part of being human in the show that we are not trying to be perfect. So, my guest today is going to be Sharon Dabrowski, and I hope Sharon, I didn't butcher up your name there, but she's going to be my guest, and she's going to give us a speech, and it's about hope. Now, that word is broad, but she's going to narrow it down for us and tell us exactly what she means by hope, and hopefully it inspires somebody who's watching the show to move forward and find some light where they think it's nothing but darkness. So, with that being said, Sharon, welcome to the show. I think you're muted. There you go. Now, can you hear me? No? Okay. So, Sharon is. Now, are you up now? Sharon, you can hear me? I think she's muted. Okay. We're not getting any sound. Okay. So she'll figure it out in a second. I can see you. I can see you, but we can't hear you. Okay, she may need to adjust the volume. Because I was just talking to her backstage and everything seemed to go. So she's having a technical issues, but she'll figure it out. She's a smart woman. So she'll figure it out. So as Sharon works through her technical issues there, I'm going to figure it out. Um, we talk a little bit again about the show itself and what we're doing here. You know, behind the scenes today is my co-host, one of my co-hosts, Karen Pascal, is behind the scenes producing this show, and we have Joan Williams, her sister. And I've been asked a couple of times if Joan and I family since she has the same last name. So no, we're just kindred spirits, and so we came together to do this show to give people the opportunity to speak, like I said, to the public, to the world, and to give them a chance to build their portfolio. So that's what the show basically is about. And we hope that opportunity comes from you getting a chance to do your speaking. And like I said, it's not that complicated to get into the industry of speaking. They are looking for people who book speakers are basically looking for your message and how it relates to what they want to convey to their audience or their employees if they bring you in a business setting. And so just make sure your topic is on point and it's authoritative from you, from owning it, and just share your story. And that's it. You build from there. And so it doesn't have to be anything that far out or unique per se. something that you may have experienced in your lifetime that can be shared with and inspire other people. And so that's all it is to it. So, and they, when they, for instance, if you do get an opportunity to be on the show, you want to come on the show and do this, they're not looking for the whole show when they look at these things. The people that are looking for this to pick you up as a speaker, they're only going to probably watch maybe no more than a minute, maybe 2 minutes of video. In some cases, they don't even watch that long. They usually watch about 30 seconds to a minute, and they get a feel for you within that time frame. That's one of the things that, and we're going to share some of those tips as we go through the season. I'll be sharing some of the inside stuff that you need to know to get yourself seen. And so that's it in a nutshell for the most part. So 2025 is going to be an interesting year. It's going to be a good year. A lot of chaos going on here in America. Of course, we got a new president. He's out and doing all kinds of crazy things. So it's a new world. It's a new world. So we'll see how he does as we progress and move forward. But it's going to be opportunity for everybody that's looking to do something. The opportunity will be there for you. You just have to find your space and fit in, find your crack to slide through, and do what you do. Create your magic. So, Sharon, have we get your audio fixed yet? No, still can't hear you. You might be you might be muted. You might be muted. Are you up? Because you can hear me, right? Okay, you can hear me. Okay, we can't hear you though. Yeah, we're still not getting any sound from you. Testing. You can still hear me, right? This kind of stuff happens. So this is technology for you. Sometimes it goes right, and sometimes you have no idea what's going to happen. So it's not expected, but it happens. So if Sharon continues to try to figure out why she's muted, so no sound coming through. I was just talking to her backstage, and it was coming through loud and clear. So we're not knowing what the issue is right now. She's in studio with us, and she's just not getting any sound. Okay, she's going to go out and come back in. Okay, so she'll be back up in a few minutes, few seconds. So while she's doing that, they're going to talk a little bit more about some of the tips that you need to be a speaker, at least that'll get you inside the industry. Okay. I mentioned about the video clips, so they'll take a look at your video, and then the next thing that they'll probably check out about you is going to be is do you connect or the message that you're delivering is it a message of well, like today's show is about hope. Is it a message that relays triggers inspiration or motivation within somebody? And so they don't really care. In most cases, they'll give you sort of a guide of what they're looking for from your speech, but then they may not. They may just let you speak and you figure out what topic is going to fit best for that particular audience, and then you make it work. And so sometimes, so you have to watch out how you speak and tell your story. And again, it's according to who you're speaking to and what they're looking for from you. So, like at some point, I'm going to put this as part of my message in the story to tell people kind of I had some poison in my bloodstream and it's caused me to be scarred, as you can see up around my eyes, around my upper head here. It's taken a little while for these scars to go away. And so for 2025, I've come from this happening to me the last part of 2024. And as you can see, I'm still carrying the scars from that. So it's going to be a good year, though. This is the first time I've had. I'll take that back. I actually had a burn too. So I'll talk a little bit about that while we're waiting for Sharon to come up. So I do have an interesting story about that. I was cooking some homemade chips once, and I just finished it. Okay, so this shows you kind of how an accident is possible even when you're not expecting. So a change of plan, so to speak. So I get to cooking the chips and took them out of the oil, and so I was crossing because of the way the kitchen was at the time before I lived. I was crossing from the stove over to the counter, and so I took it across the sink area. And unbeknownst to me, the water, yeah, that's where I'm going with this. There was a drip, and so when I pulled that skillet across, it just happened to be the timing was just perfect. There was one drop of water that came out of the faucet. It hit that hot oil and it went everywhere. So I had severe burns on my face, head, hands, arms. It burned me pretty good. And so that's how things can happen to you that you're not expecting at any point in time. So you have to always have yourself in preparation mode, so to speak. And what I mean by that is you always have yourself set up to where all your experiences, things that you have experienced, uh, need to come to the forefront. So I was able to recover from that, and I was doing a TV show at the time. Matter of fact, I ended up doing a show with the American Red Cross about burns because I was severely burned. My eyes were burned, and so I ended up doing a show about that, and we talked about what to do in the case of burns like that so severely. So it turned out to be a plus and a minus because I don't cook homemade chips any longer. So that took me out of the homemade chip realm. And so I very seldom will actually even think about it now. Just buy chips to move on and just eat with the dip. Put it that's according to it that I have a taste for anyway. So I shared that story as we were waiting on Sharon to come back into the studio, give her a speech about hope, to point out that sometimes your best laid plans can be interfered with by circumstances that's outside of your control. So just like with my scars now, uh, that's a blood poison. I just happened to rub across. I had a small scar cut right here across my eyebrow. I didn't know that. So yeah, it took me into a different phase. My eyes closed, and for about a week, few days, I wasn't for sure if I was going to even get my eyesight back because my eyes were completely closed. So but it came back. Both of them were swollen a little bit. This one on this side, a little bit more than the other, but I can see, and I just was left with these scars. So everything that you experience can be put into a speech in the context of a speech. So don't ever think that you don't have a story that you can share that can inspire or motivate somebody else. So my own belief in motivation, so to speak, is I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm a transformational speaker. And so I feel like people already have a standard of motivation within them. And so what I do is try to trigger the inspiration. If I can trigger your inspiration, then you're already motivated to move on what it is that you've been wasting your time not doing moving forward. I have to connect with you to where I can trigger that, and then you'll believe that you can actually do it. And that's a big part of being successful once you do get motivated. You have to believe that you can actually do it. I wrote an article that was on LinkedIn yesterday talking about this a little bit. I was talking about the hollow bone, and the hollow bone is like a spiritual thing for most people. It's not a word that's used real often around different circles, but the groups to understand what that is, I explained it. You can use that energy to move yourself forward. And so, like I said, you're already motivated. You just need to be triggered to take that motivation and turn it into a belief, and then you move forward. But as you move, you have to absolutely buy into your belief that you can actually do this. So you have to live it. It has to become a part of you. And it's almost like the way I put it in my article. It's like a actor or actress. You know, when you watch a movie and you see them, you believe they're actually the part that they're playing, right? And so that's what you have to do is you have to become that character. So, whatever it is that you want to move forward with it, if you want to sell more products or services or whatever it is, you have to become and believe that you can do that. Now, it's not easy to do. That's why everybody's not going to be able to do what we're talking about, speaking. And everybody can't be an actor or actress either. It looks like it's easy until you actually have to do it. That's a whole different ball game. So, like with myself here, as far as like even talking to you right now, the people who do podcasts where they don't have a guest, they're able to talk about subject matter and then connect with their audience that's following them on that subject matter. That's why they're able to just sit in front of the camera and just go, like as though you're actually in the room with them. Now, there are very few people that are really good at that. Okay, that's the other thing is you have people that can do this, but they're not good at it, or they actually connect. Okay, Sharon's back on screen. Are you up with us now? Can you hear me, Sharon? She can't. You can't hear me. You can hear me. Okay, and she's still having issues. Like you can hear me, but well, you haven't said anything yet. Can you hear me? No, can't hear me. She's having some technical issues. We're gonna have to end up doing this show again because she is really looking forward to doing this, and so I want her to be able to flow with the energy that she has. Okay,
Hi,
now
Will.
you're on.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. How you guys are doing? Hope you're doing well. She needs to unmute her mic.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I, I don't
She
know,
just did it.
Sharon, are you with us now?
It's so
There she is.
it's
Sharon,
hot.
okay, you're unmuted now, so we can hear you. Are you ready?
I guess her signal.
Yeah, she's getting her signal is going in and out. And I should tell people like, Sharon is in Africa. So, uh, we talk to people from all over the world on this show. So sometimes their signals are not like it is here in the U.S. So that she's having a signal where it's bouncing, so to speak. So sometimes it's coming in strong, and then other times it's coming in a little weaker, and that messes up the connection. And so there's nothing that she can do about that except deal with it because of the infrastructure for this kind of stuff is not complete there. So, like for instance, everybody has what they call a 5G phone now, right? But let me tell you something that's a secret here. It's not that much of a secret anymore. But 5G is really not being experienced by everybody who has a phone, right? They're selling you a 5G phone, but you don't really have access to 5G. And the reason that you don't have access to 5G is because of those breaks in the signal. So that's why they're building more towers, and that's why a certain name guy that's now messing around with our government treasury is talking about putting up more satellites because you're going to need some space in between the distances of the towers in order to be connected all the time with strong signal. So that's the secret is they came out and started selling you phones saying that they had 5G when they didn't. And so, and they still don't in a lot of areas either. And so, as these satellites go up, the signal will get better because you're not going to have a break in the signal point, and that's going to increase the availability for you to stay connected with whoever you're talking to, whether it's on phone, internet, or whatever you're doing. That signal will stay. You won't have the drops, and that's why you have like a drop call. You hit a dead area, and you may be in a space where you don't have a signal for sometimes 10, 20 minutes. It just depends on where you are and how many towers they have up in that area and who has the towers. Because you also could jump from your phone company service to a different provider whose towers just happen to be in the area. They've worked out an agreement to where if your signal needs to jump, then it'll reach to this other company and you'll still be connected. So there's still some things to work out. It's like being the overseer with the AI, for instance. Oh, Sharon is back. Are you with us now?
Can you hear me now?
Now we can hear you loud and clear.
Oh,
Okay, we hear it. You were
oh, this
muted.
is
That's all. We're good. We're
oh,
good. It's okay. Things happen. Things happen.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll let you get into your speech. So welcome to the show, Sharon, and don't fret over the technical issues. This stuff happens, so don't let that praise you and get you out of your energy phase.
Hmm.
So stay in your force and let's do this. It's going to still be a good show. So
Hmm.
welcome to the show, Sharon Nebraska. Tell us a little bit about you and what you're going to speak about today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm grateful and I'm humbled to be here with you. Thank you for choosing me to share with my story with you. I'm called Sharon Nambakile. I'm from Uganda, Africa. I'm 25 years old. I'm the founder of Mental Health and Mental Illness Awareness Foundation.
Okay.
Yes.
And today you're going to talk to us about hope. Now, hope is a word that's broad. It has a lot of different meanings. It has spiritual meaning, religious meaning, then the context of just general context of speaking when you say hope. So
Mhm.
I'm assuming that when you say hope, that you're covering all of that umbrella, though. You got kind of all of that energy under one umbrella, right?
Mhm.
Okay, okay. So I tell you what we're gonna do. I'm gonna let you go ahead and reintroduce yourself and let's talk about your speech. Hope.
I talk about hope.
Okay, let's do
Okay.
it.
Thank you so much. So, when I started Mhandmia Foundation, I never knew that I be in mental health or I can even know about it. But in 2023 is when I knew about mental health. So when my cousin brother took his own life, and I really asked myself, why do people commit suicide? So it really touched me a lot, and I feel like I can do something about it. But I never knew about mental health. But when I went on Google and I saw about mental health, I felt in love with the topic. So I went on reading and reading. Once I got to understand about it, I was like, oh, people they suffer in silence, even if they have people around them. So I was like, I can do something about it. I cannot keep quiet or I cannot grieve forever, but I can bring hope in people's lives. The way we create awareness in different communities, we are giving hope to people to hold on, to not give up, even if you're passing through something. Just hold on to something because there is always hope there. There is hope, there is someone who can help you, but it's about you to reach out and to ask and to talk about it. So, whatever we are doing right now, whatever I'm doing right now at my age, I love giving hope to people because I know anyone can pass through something, but they lose hope easily. But to gain that hope, sometimes it can take years, it can take days, but it can also take months. So it depends how you see things and what you know. So for me, hope it's a big thing for me because there's a time I gave up on myself. There's a time I gave up on the things I loved. because of the tragedy that happened to my cousin brother. But to come up, it was all about speaking about it, talking about it with someone who could help me. Then they gave me hope, and they let me like to see something in the future. And I saw Mhandmia Foundation. I never saw about it in my dreams when I was still young. I never saw. But this hope of building Mhandmia Foundation and creating it every time when I wake up, it's the reason why I wake up every day to do what I'm doing in different communities. So hope has to be in everyone, but it can't be in everyone because we pass through things and everyone see it differently. But who is there to give them hope? It depends who is there to give them hope. Yeah.
Okay, okay. And at this point, let me ask you. We're going to take people behind the message you just delivered. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you, a lot of times when people deliver speeches, it's from sometimes it's from personal experience, and that's the best type of speech to give, actually. And then other times they pull from context of stories and just kind of put them together, just give the audience a story. But a story like what you just told there is resiliency, and you also asked the question of why. You know, so when you ask that question, how did I guess the inspiration come to you to tell you that you needed to do that there was something you could do about
So when I asked myself why, and I went
it?
on
Right.
Google to search on Google, why do people commit suicide? I couldn't ask my mom. I couldn't. I couldn't ask my friends why. But the only thing I could do is go on Google and search why. So they gave me many, many answers. And I was there stuck on one topic. I couldn't go any further. And I was stuck on.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
So now you mentioned your organization. As a result of what happened and you going through the transformation of it, is that what inspired you to start your organization that you and mention the
Sorry?
name of the organization again for us? Is the process of what happened, is that what inspired you to start your organization
Yeah,
as
so
part of your
my
recovery?
brother, yeah, it helps me right now even to recover from this because in 2023 I was like, now what can I do about it? I can't do anything about it. But I feel like I can do something about it because I had many questions in me, but no one could answer. So I I kept on asking myself why and why and why. So it helped me to create Mhandmia Foundation.
Right. Right. So now, when your organization is to distribute and share information about how to deal with mental health when you have issues that you think is so overwhelming that you don't want to wake up or get up the next morning and live life again. This life of ours is so precious because in the physical form, we only get
Hmm.
one chance to be here to do this, and so to speak. But we're energy,
Hmm.
which is something else that people don't talk about a lot. So energy is never destroyed. We just leave these particular bodies that people get accustomed to, and that energy dispersed into something else somewhere else. And so, in your process, have you learned to, I guess, when you engage in people or they come in and become a part of your organization, are you seeing the kind of results that you thought that you would get by starting this
I did not hear you very well. The
organization?
last
Okay, okay.
thing
Let me repeat
you
it
said.
in a short form.
Yeah.
Uh, do you think that you're
Mm.
you're able to reach out and touch people to where they can see that even though it's bad right now, there's always tomorrow? Do you think that what you're doing is actually registering with people?
Yeah. Yes, because we started officially last year in 2024. We reached out to 31 communities, but the painful thing is you reach out to the people to educate them about mental health. It's sad that they don't know about mental health. In 31 communities, we did the outreaches. It was like two communities, and these communities are within town. So others are in villages. You reach there, you talk to people about mental health. They're like they don't know about it.
They don't
But
know.
when you
Yeah,
teach them, they get to know. Yeah, when you teach them, they know about it. Then they understand. Because in
right.
schools in Uganda, they don't teach about mental health. So it's very
Yeah,
sad. People they are not
right.
aware. So that
That's
awareness we try to create in our communities.
right. That's good because as you mentioned there, it's not, and even though you're in Uganda, even in America, the school systems are not teaching mental health. I mean, it's covered a little bit more now, and certain schools are starting to come on board and talk about it. But it needs to be part of the curriculum itself. You know, where kids get a chance to develop the aptitude to be able to deal with stress.
Hmm.
You know, and that's what I think as a society, these governments that are in place have failed the societies by not instituting some type of program where it's on a large scale where you see it and know it exists. You know, most of these cases,
Hmm.
governments have healthcare programs, but they just put it as part of the medical program. So you know, until you go to the doctor to see it for something else, then they can talk to you about some mental stuff. That shouldn't be that way. We have to have the way the world operates now is so much stress that people are looking for solutions, you know, and not there's not a lot of people,
Hmm.
I guess, who are willing to own that, and so we have a crisis in mental health still. You know, this started back as you mentioned earlier, and it started back in 2021 with the pandemic, but at the same time, we haven't done a good job
Hmm.
as societies on a global scale of
Mm.
fixing or repairing people. You know, we still have a lot of damaged people from this, you know. So the people that you engage with, I guess
Mm.
in the villages, do you sometimes feel like that because you have to basically start from scratch with them because they're not exposed to it, so they don't even know what it is. Do you sometimes feel like you're talking to the choir and they're not getting the message?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
Some village
okay,
you find just much like I believe it's sometimes it's witchcraft, sometimes
right,
it's not real. You know, don't take it as a disease. You know, the mess there. Oh,
okay, okay.
mhm.
Your signal kind of broke up a little bit there, so we didn't get the full gist of what you said. But I think people understand what you're trying to say. And you mentioned people thinking it's some type of
Tip?
uh, yeah. You mentioned witchcraft, so I'll just throw it back out there. People think is that what you're talking about, the type of information that you're bringing them, they think that it's some type of way going to be disruptive to their life instead of seeing it
Mhm.
as an inclusive part of their life to where it's going to improve their life, so to speak. And so, are you thinking that in that area specifically, do you think you have more problems connecting with people
Mm.
to get them to understand what you're trying to do and help them? Did you hear me?
When we are teaching
Okay.
them,
Right. Right. I mean, do you think that they sometimes get confused at what the information that you're giving them because you're trying to educate them
yeah,
on what
because
stress is and how to
yeah.
deal with it? Do you think that they sometimes still see you as they can't trust you? And that's the thing about hope too. Is hope is about trust. You know, it's a thing that like you said, it embraces a whole lot of different meanings and definitions and so forth. But hope is also trust. And so, do you think that they buy into that? They feel, hey, I can trust you if I share
Yeah.
some things that I've been thinking about. Go ahead. Or, people have thoughts and then they're like, well, I don't think I could tell anybody this because they'll think I'm crazy. And so they don't share it, so they suffer in silence. So do you think sometimes pulling that information out of them
Mm.
is difficult for you in your organization?
Mm.
Can you hear me?
So
Okay, go ahead.
we schools first to the come to their to educate, go in the community. It was last I went in. It's called. We had more than 50 people, but you mental health. So last year we did the topic. So they call us to teach and other people apart from children teaching that subject. So they love it.
Okay, okay. When you go in to set up the classes for this, how long is it the class? Are you there for like one day, or is it like a series of classes that you
So so when we go in a community because we studied a young generation, that is why, because we don't want who puts their money for us do it as team I work with. The little we have that, don't do the pocket. So for one day, 2 hours, then we come back.
okay? So it's a series thing.
Yeah.
So let me, if someone else who watches this show uh, pick up on your message and they decide to, you know, something, she's onto something. I need to see if I can start an organization like this. I mean, we have your contact information in our headings and in your bio. But if I was watching this show and I wanted to do what you do, could I contact you to sort of get some background on how to go about putting an organization like this together? Did you
Sorry?
hear me? Okay. If I'm watching this show and I get inspired from your message,
No, no.
and I wanted to copy your organization, could I contact you to say, hey, Sharon,
Oh,
I'm such and such, and how did you go about doing this? Could you kind of walk me through the process of how to go about starting an organization like this? I guess what I'm
mm-hmm.
asking is
Like ping
would
out?
you, yeah, are you available to, if I contacted you and wanted to figure out
No, I'm
if
not
I could do
giving
something
you.
like this, would you be able to walk me through the process?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Okay, okay, good deal, good deal. Well, uh, anything else you would like to add to your message and
Okay.
about hope or anything else that you might want to say?
Sorry?
Is there anything else you would like to add to your message about hope and or anything else that you might, you know, want to say to people to inspire them or leave them motivated to think about life in a different context of ending it? That you know,
Oh,
this is a hard journey, of course, for all of us. Okay, and it's not easy to be here in this form. Even if you're very religious, you understand that your journey is still hard. You know, so this is not an easy life to live. No matter, you know, here's the thing before you answer this question. Here's the thing about this. Some people get confused with money being able to make up for what you feel emotionally. And it actually does not do that. You know, you can have a lot of money and still be very
mm-hmm.
unhappy. So it's not about the bank account. It's more
Exactly.
in line with who you are and what you
Uh-uh.
experience in life, and those experiences how you move forward. So leave us with some type of message that tells that okay, even though it's hard, you'll still be all right tomorrow. Go ahead.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much, everyone's watching. Thank you for there with you. So,
Yep.
this
I think,
life is hard. Sometimes it's really, you know, it depends
yeah,
what you're going through.
right,
I went, I thank God that I went through that because right now my story inspires a lot of people when they see it. Sometimes some people they feel pity, but I don't want that sometimes. I just want
right.
us to walk forward towards what we
Yeah,
are doing right now. At the end of the day, it is
right.
hope.
I
If
tell you
you need,
what we're gonna do.
if no, you always have to talk about it. There is someone there willing to help, but please talk about it. Thank you so much.
Right, right. Let me say this to you, Sharon. I'm gonna bring you back, and we're gonna have a
Yeah.
second show because our signal on this show has cut a lot of your message out, and I want people to actually experience what you're talking about. And so we're gonna
Mm,
set up a date with you to come back and do another show. We'll do a part two, and I'm pretty sure hopefully this next time when we do this show, the signals will be better, and you won't be people will be able to get the gist of what you talk, feel it, you know. Because when you deliver a message, you want people to feel what you feel. And so, as I mentioned at the top of the show, at the introduction, very few people can actually do what I just suggested. Like we're speaking on the screen, right? And we're talking to people all over the world. Now, to some degree, some people can reach through that screen and their message will register with that person that's watching. Okay, very few people have that skill to do that. Everybody will want that magic, but very few people can do it. And so that's why I want you to come back. We're going to do a second show. I'll get with you. We'll get a date lined up and we'll bring you back. And that's because when you talk about something as serious as hope, and within that hope, you're talking about people giving up and how to deal with stress. Everybody's dealing with some level of stress right now, you know, because we're going through a transition in the world itself. The world has changed and it's a whole new world. It's new opportunity, but a lot of people don't see that they're ready to give up because they've had such a hard life up to this point. They're like, I just don't want to be here. You know, this is it. I can't do this anymore. But as you mentioned, there's always another day, always. And so you have to be able to see through the valley, so to speak, you know. And if you can do that, you'll find that your tomorrow will always be better. There's a chance for you to always have a better tomorrow. And so that's why I want you to come back, and we're going to do a second show where our signals stay strong, and all of what you're saying can be understood and reached by people. Okay, and they can connect with you because your company, your organization uh, is dealing with mental health, and that's something that's really important. You know, I talk about the solution economy. That's the future of where business is going. And so the businesses that are going to strive and make big jumps in the future, they're going to be all solution based business, whether it's organizations or nonprofits or whatever it is. You're going to have actually have solutions to some real problems. You're not going to be able to just stick a band-aid on it and say, hey, come buy this product or service because for 10 minutes you'll be okay. No, you're talking about something deeper than that. So I'm going to bring you back to where we can get the message out and do it correctly. So again, let me thank you for being my guest, and I'll let you say anything else that you have that you want to close out the show with, and then we'll get out of here. I tell you, it wasn't going to be hard to do it, so you're ready now. So now that you see what it's like to do this stuff, we'll do a show where you can actually get your message. Okay? So go ahead and give us a closing message that you would like people to know. Can you hear me? Yeah, big sound signal. That's an issue. Yeah, we're gonna have to do another show. Make sure she gets her message out clear. Um, I guess I tell you what, we'll talk about it off camera. I'll get in touch with you. We'll talk about it. We're going to do a second show. So I want to thank our audience for joining us on this first Reflective Speaker Series show for 2025. We got some good, really good guests coming up, like Sharon here, uh, and we got some great topics coming up too. The format for this year, the show has changed somewhat. So I'm going to actually do, and my co-host, actually, you'll get a chance to see them talk. You're going to see Karen and Joan both get interviewed on this show. Now we have to work out how we're going to do this, whether we're going to do both of them at the same time or different days. We'll figure that out as we move. But you're going to get a chance to see them speak as well. So, and talk about their organizations and what they do. Okay. So the series is going to be more open to the format itself is what we're doing. And so I'm speaking to the people who are watching this that are interested in picking this up. We'll see what happens after we do this year's series. But that's what the format. We're pushing the format itself, and so the guests are part of that. But the format itself can be picked up and taken forward. And so that's the thing. So always remember that whatever you do it beyond you. It's for the world itself. If you're giving, and so that's it for me. So Sharon, let me thank you for being my guest today. And like I said, we'll get in touch so we can line up this second show so you can come back and we can really do this and not have any interruptions. Okay? All right then. You have a great day. And I'm gonna say to the audience, enjoy your day and have a good life. And we'll see you next time here on the Reflective Speaker Series with myself, John Williams, and Karen Pascal, who's behind the scene today. So we'll see you next time.